Today's video and the brilliantly naive Brian Staveley. Now he wants to share something with us all, not least a Mr. Brian Staveley, who today thinks that not only has the famous chef Gordon Ramsay been Mandela affected, but he'd never existed at all.
So, on this journey, some of the people that get the most triggered about the Bible changes, well, are obviously people that will tell you things like the Word of God can't change. I don't give a fuck where you think the Bible came from. Fucking no sweat off my back. If you think the Bible came from God himself, and like God, whatever God is to you, like sat down with an actual pen and wrote the Bible and sent it off to the printing press, that's good. If you think it was just men and then they further manipulated down the line, that's cool. If you think it was AI back in the past, if you think it was a fucking dog that wrote the Bible, if you think it was a fucking dog that wrote the Bible, if you think it was a fucking dog that wrote the Bible, if you think it was a fucking dog that wrote the Bible, it doesn't matter. And you can say shit like the word can't change, but the word is changing. The problem is the word of God is supposed to be written on your heart, not on pages in a book. And if the Berenstain Bears can change to the Berenstain, I'm going to talk about this change because, and you can say shit like the word can't change, but the word is changing. But the word is changing.
The Mandela Effect.
7 years ago, Dale Dufay was talking about and figuring out the Mandela Effect. And 7 years later, most of the Mandela Effect channels, including Staveley, are still stuck on changes. According to Dale Dufay's theory, nothing is changing.
The Mandela Effect, as we know, is nothing more than a large group of people misremembering something, like a detail in a film or logo or something like that. For example, many people thought that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s, when in fact he went on to live until the year 2013. Hence why the phenomenon was named after him, because it was sort of the first documented experience of it. And since then, the internet has done what it does best and given us a wave of experts on the Mandela effect and the incidents that happen because of it. Welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's video and the brilliantly naive Brian Staveley. Now he wants to share something with us all about Gordon Ramsay. Here we go.
Welcome back, Dose of Reality. This is the next video in my Mandela Effect shortlist. It's not a brand new change for me. It's at least several months old, maybe a year old or so. For me, maybe for other people, it's a lot older. But it's an easy video for me to make, as there's just so much residue everywhere. It is a name change, as you can tell by the title. It's to do with the famous chef Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay, as I'll show you right here, no longer exists. No longer exists.
Oh, that was straight to the point, wasn't it? I hope that you've got some pretty serious evidence to justify that, Brian.
Gordon Ramsay, oops, I need to switch my screen. Gordon Ramsay is now Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay with an A-Y instead of an E-Y.
Hey genius, you still say Ramsay and it's always been spelt like that. If this is your evidence to suggest that he no longer exists, then I am shocked and who am I kidding? I knew this was going to be a bad showing from Brian.
He was Gordon Ramsay. Now he's Gordon Ramsay.
No, he wasn't. He's always been Gordon Ramsay, as you say.
So I'm going to get into some residue to show you real quick. Some leftover residual evidence that shows that we're not crazy. And anybody that says there's nothing going on with the Mandela effect and it's just a psyop, wow, they haven't even done a lick of research into this. To say that no changes affect you is mind-boggling.
No changes affect me because there are not any changes. Because there are not any changes. Because there are not any changes. The Mandela effect is nothing more than people misremembering facts about things.
Maybe this one doesn't, but I do think that most people will be affected by this one. Most people remember Gordon Ramsay. Now Gordon Ramsay. Let's see some of the other people that remember. We have Express.co in the UK. Well, they clearly remember Gordon Ramsay with an EY. Gordon Ramsay with an EY.
Yeah, they've spelt it wrong. Yeah, they've spelt it wrong. Yeah, they've spelt it wrong. Now, granted, as a publication they shouldn't have, but they have.
Let's move on over to the Thai.ca Hell's Kitchen article talking about Chef Gordon Ramsay with an EY. Okay, EY.
Spelt it wrong. Spelt it wrong. Spelt it wrong.
Let's move on over. Gordon Ramsay with an EY. So all these sites, Metro in the UK, all these huge sites, they must be falling for my psyop. Because there's nothing going on, according to a lot of people in the so-called truth community. Nothing going on. Meanwhile, I'm over here showing you thousands of changes. Huge historical events, all sorts of stuff. Yes, this is just a name change. Still big, especially if you remember Gordon Ramsay. You're not crazy, and your memory doesn't suck. And it's not an online psyop.
Oh, almost. Now, it's not an online psyop, I agree there. And you're not crazy either, and your memory doesn't suck. Your memory's just not perfect.
Gordon Ramsay with an EY. BlastingNews.com. How about the Miami Herald? Oh, Daily Edge, Gordon Ramsay in the URL with the EY. Gordon Ramsay right here with the EY. Never been EY in this reality. Interesting. Everybody's falling for my psyop.
I don't understand how reams of examples of how people have spelt his name wrong means that his name has changed. And that in turn means we've shifted universes, because that's what you think, isn't it, Brian? That we've shifted universes because of this change.
Today.com. Gordon Ramsay with an EY. Wow, amazing. I love when people, supposedly misremember and misspell, as the debunkers and deniers try to say. I love how it's always the same way.
But what else would it be? It is what it is, a misspelling. Have you got anything else other than badly spelt publications?
And I love how it's actually usually more than the current reality sometimes. That's wild. Wild, wild, wild. All right, let's scroll down. And who do we have here? Well, we got Gordon Ramsay. You know who we have with an EY. All right. The Gordon Ramsay effect.
Damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted, Private Gump.